And howdy, y'all. I'm gonna start out real easy tonight. We'll watch a little footage. This is actually VTOL footage. I was out on Sunday flying with Chris, aka Sunrise Water Media, and we played out at the lake a little bit, flying the VTOL. Let's see how that comes across on the channel here. So I'm just gonna sort of let this run in the background while I'm talking. Say hello to you guys. So we got Eat More Possum got here first, apparently. I'm still trying to figure out what he's trying to tell us there with the emojis. Yeah, you're gonna have to explain that one, Brent. Yeah, at Sunrise, TJ, he's playing pool, shooting pool. I hope it's not pocket pool. And then we have Mr. Lee McCready. Hey, Lee. And one vision aerial just got to town. Well, we're going to have to smurf you while I'm at it here. There we go. One vision, you should appear in blue now. If you care to type some in the live chat, we should see that it's actually working. Hopefully it does. So, come back to the video. That is the OMP Hobby ZMO VTOL plane, wing, whatever you want to call it. That thing is just a hoot. Now, you see this little hiccup right here? I actually had a signal loss, and this thing went on a return to home. And it took me a minute to figure out how to overwrite that to get it to go fly again. So I had to flip some switches, and I think I got her back right about here. That little quad that you see buzzing through the picture, that's actually Sunrise Water Media chasing me. Well, trying to chase me anyhow. So the thing was this, those emojis are for Sunrise Water Media. Okay. You don't need to go get a room or something. Just kidding. Just kidding. Yeah, the VTOL, it is a hoot. I actually have it. This picture, no, this footage actually comes off of the CADX Peanut, and I've actually put this through the new release of Gyroflow, and I think that footage turned out pretty good. I mean, there's still some hiccups in there here and there, but I mean, nothing you're going to see because the diminished quality going through StreamYard here. But and Harley FPV in the house. Hey, Greg. Man Crush or Bromance? Well, potato, I think that one vision. Anywho, now it's fun to fly. It's a completely different experience from quadcopters. The thing is, when you take off with it vertically, the front two motors actually pivot up, and then the three motors drag it up in the air. Well, when you switch it to go into horizontal flight, and the front motors pivot forward, they're still pretty much at full blast. So when they pivot forward, that thing takes off like a rocket. And Chris can testify to that because he tried to keep up, but there was no way. It was, but it, you know, I know the footage is still bouncy and everything. I'm still trying to learn my way with this thing. You know, every plane's going to need some getting used to, try to find the sweet spot on the throttle, which this is going to be extra difficult to do on this one because the throttle is kind of the throttle is some getting used to because it has an automatic minimum throttle, which actually makes this thing very beginner friendly. I've tried to tip stall or just stall this thing, and you can't, because I mean you pull the throttle all the way back, and it keeps going because it has a minimum throttle programmed into it. So it's a lot of fun, and it's very beginner friendly, and I can only recommend this thing. And the thing is, it only comes with one battery, and they don't offer spare batteries at this point. Oh, Sergio on the house. Good evening. They don't sell spare batteries on their site as of now, but the battery is a 4S high voltage 5200 milliamp hour that weighs about just under 400 grams. Now, Tattoo has a 4S 5200 milliamp hour LiPo battery, was a higher C rating than the one that comes with it. That's regular voltage for like $55 or something like that. And they weigh about the same. The Tattoo weighs about 30 grams more, I think it was. But I don't think on this plane it really matters. So, I flew this thing once before, and I didn't have a camera in the nose, and that made it a bit tail heavy. Now I put the peanut in the nose along with this little adapter that Painless 360 actually published. I had to modify it a little bit for the USB plug to fit in the back here, but it did the job. And as you can see, we got some good footage out of it. So this is about the big. This was the big news for me this week, flying this thing. Yeah, and I actually purchased one of these. So unlike some of the cool people, I actually had to put my own money up for this one. But I'm glad I did. It's good fun. And when you come a little down like this, it really, you don't feel the speed up top, but when you come a little closer to the ground, you can definitely feel it. And just by the way, that Swan K1 VTOL thing, you cannot do any low passes with that thing, because as soon as you drop it below 100 feet, it automatically, or is it 100 feet? Whatever, there's a minimum height. If you drop it below it, it automatically goes into quadcopter mode and wants to land. So what would I say battery life was flying was the peanut? I would say battery life on this thing is close to about 45 minutes. I mean, we've flown it twice, and I've checked the battery charge after I got home, and both of them still had plenty of life left in it. So and it's a matter of, getting used to the throttle on this thing, because you want to make a quicker bank, you need to give it a little bit more on the throttle. But I was just having fun with this thing. Now, I don't know what was going on with the location, but we had all sorts of trouble with video feed on the Cadillac, on the DJI system. I was having a bunch of breakup. Chris was having a bunch of breakup. I thought I had a bad antenna on one of my quads, and we just never could figure it out. I'm thinking inside that building, that big building that you see in the middle of the screen, they have some sort of Wi-Fi router or something in there that's interfering with our equipment. There's some in there that's interfering with our equipment, I think. I think next time we need to go back over to that halfway gate and try flying from there. So, yep, this is the one that Kelly from Ready Set Drone flew. Actually, if you watched Ready Set Drones review on that, if you see him flying, any footage you see flying over the soccer fields where he's chasing, I was doing the flying, he was doing the chasing. So yeah, that was a fun afternoon making that video. Of course, Chris was there too, getting all the other footage. Anything where you see Kelly and me, and that's all Chris's footage, or basically all the ground footage was Chris's footage in that video. And then we had that old gentleman come by, and you just saw him kind of walking along the fence line here. He actually had to come and investigate, because he actually thought there was somebody else was a plane out there yet. It didn't quite dawn on him that was actually us flying that plane, because he thought there was another guy there flying the plane. You'll see him right here at the fence line as we're passing him. There we go. Yeah, he was a fun old man, but he was very, very interested in what we were doing out there. So anywho, yeah, that was about the highlight of my weekend last weekend. What'd y'all do last weekend? Try to stay warm? I know I was. Good Lord. I mean, this was Sunday afternoon. Sun was shining and everything was good, but the later in the afternoon it got and the sun started going down, it got cold in a hurry. But anyhow, well, I'm thinking we'll leave that running for a bit. We have a bit of we have a new bill in Congress that we need to talk about. And that's going to be bad news for DJI. Matter of fact, I'm going to, well, I don't think we even get the landing on this, because actually my peanut ran out of memory before we landed this thing. And this video is 20 minutes long. And I know we flew at least another 10 minutes before we landed. I think Chris went through about 3 or 4 batteries on this flight, trying to chase me with the baby hawk. But anyway, let me remove this. I think we've seen enough on that. And let's go take a look, see at what our government is up to. We're gonna, well, I might as well share this frame too. There we go. HR 6572, also known as the Countering CCP Drones Act. And this is going to be bad news for DJI. Let me make this a little bigger so y'all can see what I'm looking at. And it's right here. The telecommunications or video surveillance equipment produced by Shenzhen Dajing Innovation Sciences and Technologies Company Limited, commonly known as DJI Technologies, or any subsidiary or affiliate thereof, or telecommunications or video surveillance services provided by an entity described in subparagraph A, which is, well, they're going to get added to the so-called covered list. So, yeah. Somebody is in deep doo-doo. So, if this thing goes through, that's the end of DJI in the U.S. It's currently in committee. I have no idea what or if anything can be done about this. Of course, they're citing national security and sort of stuff. And yeah, this is the bad news. This got filed on the 2nd. So this is about 6 days old, about a week old. And it shows to be introduced. And then it was referred to the House Committee on Energy and Commerce. So now they got to play in the committee with it for a bit. They'll probably amend something on it, add language a little bit, and then it's going to go back to the House to get voted on. And I don't think this is going to take very long, but they've been ramrodding this stuff through pretty quick. So this is the bad news of the week. Do I have a link for that? Yes, I have a link for that. Let me put it back over to the text. Control C, and we'll throw it right in here. There you go, One Vision. And Scott, Mr. Jackrabbit FPV is in the house. Howdy, howdy, howdy. Did I miss anybody else? No, I think we had Harley. Yep. So, yeah, that is the bad news for the week. This is going to come to bite the hobby. This is because this is actually, countering CCP, meaning the Communist Party of China or the Chinese Communist Party, CCP. They're going anything that's connected to the Chinese government. And in case you missed it, the Washington Post posted a report where it showed that DJI was receiving quite a bit of money from the Chinese government. So they're a lot more involved than just a privately owned company that happens to be in China. So that's it's all not helping. It doesn't mean much, but it's definitely not helping. So let's go on to another subject. And Eat More Possum brought it up here in the chat a minute ago. And he was talking about not this, but this little booger. The Runcam thumb. And let me, there you go. It's showing up in the stream now. So the Runcam thumb, it's a little $50 camera. It's not much larger. Actually, it's slightly smaller than the Cadex Peanut. And you see right here, 1080p, 50 frames per second. It has a built-in gyro. Only weighs 9.8 grams, so 10 grams. It does have a removable lens, so if you crack that, you can replace it. Just angle bracket, 150-degree field of view, and requires 5-volt power supply. So this thing does not have a built-in power supply or a built-in battery. So you actually have to solder a wire to your flight controller to a 5-volt pad. My understanding, it only draws about 0.3 amps, so it shouldn't be much of a problem in the way of the BEC not being able to handle extra load. Even with the wire and everything, we're looking about 15 grams for this camera. 1080p should be plenty enough for YouTube videos or to show your friends and family what you do on that. But I think I think they could have gone a little higher on the resolution myself. I would have liked to seen, 2.5K like the Peanut, 2560 by 1440. That way, if you want to crop in a little bit, you got a little bit of room to play with. But other than that, I mean, I think it's going to be a good little camera for small whoops. It would be ideal to go on top of the P16 because it's not adding a lot of weight. And we got Mike in the house, Mike Henrenek. I hope I pronounced that right. Let's make you blue too. Trying to stay on the the Mini 3. That's going to be a race. Who's going to be to the draw first? Now, at Spin Up, we had the chief test pilot from DJI coming in on Zoom, and he was actually saying that the U.S. market is only the third largest market for DJI. Their largest market actually is in China, followed by Europe, and we're on place 3. So, but then again, I mean, the whole thing can be a blessing in disguise for DJI. At least I won't have to worry about the blessed remote ID crap, unless other countries start that shit too. All right. Anyway, it sucks. It's gonna suck, and that's gonna impact the hobby more than anything ever happened. Is there a learning curve with Gyroflow? Yes, with anything, there's always a learning curve, but I can tell you, well, let's switch over to Gyroflow. So it's Gyroflow XYZ is their website. Let me add this to the chat too. Nope, that's not what we want to do. What did I do here? Okay, well, let's try this again. Copy that, and we'll paste that here, and there we go. So anyhow, this thing is like the hottest thing on the market right now, and the best part about it, it's free. So I can live with free. And now we need a I guess I could actually, well, let me do this. Where's StreamYard? We'll remove that for a minute. And I actually have this on my desktop, and we can look at it for a second. There's a new version available. Well, how about that? We'll download this booger too, but for the time being, let me put this one on here. Okay. This is what the interface looks like, and this is actually pretty easy to navigate. So let me pull this over here. So we'll drop a video file in there. What do we have? Here's the Pro video. So I'll drop that in here. And now you're gonna see. Now it shows first I'm sideways, so I gotta undo that. I'll do that over here, make that a -90, and now we're straight up. Okay, let me get my mug out of the picture here. Then we need to choose a lens profile. So we're going to open file, and within the camera presets, there's a folder, Insta360. We navigate to that, and we go to this InstaGo 2880 by 2880 Pro mode unprocessed. And we add that in there. And then the CADX has the gyro data actually in the movie file or in the MP4 file. So it already, we don't need to open this file here because it pulls it from this file up here. If you had like a separate black box log you wanted to use, that's where you would have to enter that into to get the gyro data in there. And then over here on this side, now I haven't played with this a whole lot, but we need to reduce the field of view. And the video that I just did, I put at 0.75, and that worked pretty well. And you got to choose your export settings. So you want the output. I put the output size. Well, we got to undo that hooky there. 2560 by 1440. I left the bit rate alone for the time being. Put this on the 64, because if you get on the 65, then you're going to end up having to buy another codec. That's 99 cents. Ask me how I know. And that's pretty much it. Down here is the output path, and we'll just change the path to, well, we just renamed the file the ZMO, and let me put a start marker over here so you can edit the length of the video, right? What's these little guys right here? This is the start. There's one for end, and then you can actually slide through the video at different places. And when you're done, you hit the export button and you will, oops, what? Yep, I did something wrong here. Lens profile, well, no, that's all. That's how I did it earlier. Well, that's what happens when you try stuff live. Stuff ain't working. We got the motion data in here. Got the lens profile. Okay. Got that. Let's do an auto sync. Let's see what that does. That should help things. And now let's try this again. Okay. I don't know why this is not working. These are the exact settings that I've used half an hour ago. So, I don't know. I have no idea why this is not working. Maybe it'll work after I do the update. Whoops. You heard from Gal Kramer that it will save the recording if power is lost. Well, you still, Jack Rabbit's still talking about the run cam thump, apparently. Let me close this. Yes, I'm sure I want to exit. So what happens when you have a power outage on this thing? Well, it does record to an SD card. There is an SD card in the thumb. So, I would think it records to the SD card. I think you stand a good chance of saving that recording. It does have a built-in SD card, which I wish this thing had an SD card in it. Because when you're out in the field and this thing runs out of storage, you need to have a laptop to pull the footage off. Because if you just export it to your phone, you lose all the raw footage, so to speak. So, I'm going to have to experiment a little bit with that, but I think this little booger right here is going to be my ticket to that, because I can actually plug that into the bottom of the phone and then transfer files from the Peanut onto an SD card in here. I heard it is possible. I haven't tried it out yet. So that I'll be working on next. So, anywho, then we have, I guess we need to talk about 5 million radios now that are available. Or first thing first, little PSA, whatever you want to call it. So I bought this Happy Model Pro, Slim Pro ELRS module. And apparently that thing has issues with telemetry. I actually have to turn telemetry off this thing, or the radio will constantly go telemetry lost, telemetry regained, telemetry lost, telemetry found, telemetry lost, telemetry found. It will absolutely drive you freaking bonkers. So if you have this thing and you have that telemetry issue, you need to turn telemetry off in the hardware settings. There's a Happy Model knows about this issue, and they say you can either ship it to them, they will fix it to you and ship it back to you, or you just turn the telemetry off. Your choice. Or they will send you a kit to fix it yourself. But let me tell you, that's not going to be all that easy. Let me see if I can pull that up here on what they posted on social media about it. Oh, Texas. Michael, Tex Art Strong Guy in the house. What do I think about ELRS? I like ELRS, but there's definitely some growing pains going with it just yet. Express LRS performance, yada yada. Let's see. Let's see if I can find that post. Now, there's all sorts of radios coming out of the woodworks right now about with built-in ELRS. And from my understanding, it's only the Radio Master Zorro that worked with ELRS to put that into their radio. All these others just kind of snapped ELRS to put in their radios. And was the Jumper T Pro, I think, or T-Lite, whatever the thing is, T-Lite Pro. If you flash an ELRS on it, there's some issues with it that can cause some serious problems with. Oh, here it is. So let me close that, and we'll make this a little bigger. So share this. Okay. So those who care about telemetry lost issue for the ES24TX Slim Pro, meaning this thing right here. Sorry for the inconvenience. Option 1, we offer a fixed kit if you're good at soldering. And you have to be damn good at soldering to do this. Or we have to send it in, they will fix it and return it to us. Here's what needs to happen. You need this leg on this chip, you actually have to unsolder it from the board and lift it up and then solder it, wire to it, and solder it over here to this. I think that's a resistor. And then you got to replace this capacitor up here. And that's not going to be easy soldering either. This is not going to be an easy soldering job. Here you can see where they lifted that leg from that chip up to solder the wire to it. So this is I guess you get the capacitor and a piece of wire, to fix this if you want to fix it yourself. I'm fairly good at soldering, but this is way over my comfort level. So anyhow, for the time being, I turned off my my telemetry till I figure out what I'm going to do with this. But yeah, this thing right here, the Happy Model 2.4 gig Slim Pro. Can we get this to focus? Of course not. Come on. Well, this little bugger right here. And by the way, if you buy it, this is not the antenna it comes with. It comes with a regular T-shaped antenna, just so you know. You see it advertised with this antenna, but this antenna does not come with it. But for about $8, you're in business getting that one too. Yeah, those pads are tiny, and it's I don't think I want to. I have another ELRS module, so I can do a couple days without this one. So I'll probably just send this in and have them fix it. Darn it. And yeah, Sunrise Water Media knows all about driving you bonkers, an understatement, because he had to listen to it out at the lake the other night. And Eat More Possum already has the answer. This video will not be corrupted even if power is removed from the Runcam thumb. So there's, neat nano fingers. Well, I've got a magnifying glass and some tiny tweezers. Here's one of them. I can only recommend this because this one, you have to press it to open, so it actually holds the wire pretty good if you need to, get into a tight place. These things are really good, and they're heat resistant, so they can, you can put a little heat on them and it won't hurt them none. Amazon purchase. And Jim's droning in the house. You know who we're missing tonight is Woody. What happened to Woody? Somebody call Woody over in Britain and wake him up. I haven't picked on him in the day yet about his midlife crisis, aka the BMW Z4. But then again, I haven't picked on Sunrise really yet today either. But yeah, Dad was gonna join us, but he had a dentist appointment. So I told him, have fun, don't let him get on your nerves, and we'll chat at you later. Affiliate link below. No more affiliate links for Amazon with me. Apparently Amazon didn't think I was worthy or something. I don't know what their problem is. But what else is new? Anybody have any questions while we're here? And since we're on the subject, if anybody hadn't, we might just be 11 out of 11. If you haven't hit that thumbs up yet, please do. I would appreciate that. Yeah, I've been doing a bunch of flying with Kelly and Chris, and NT hadn't been able to join us too much, but I hope that'll change to see him more often in the near future. So well now, yeah, we had this little booger here. So well, let's talk about this real quick too. Hey. Share this and that, and there we go. The RunCam Split HD. So basically, this whole unit replaces the camera for your Vista / Air unit. I mean, you wouldn't use this on an Air unit, but you would use it on the Vista. It basically adds one more level to your Vista unit. And then a cable from this goes to the camera cable, gets connected to this, and this will record in 2.7K, but there's a major problem with latency on this thing. Apparently it doubles the latency to the point where it's almost unflyable for a drone. Now, however, people with fixed wings or airplanes, no, this is digital. This is for the Vista unit. Right here, you see how this fits in with the Vista unit. And then, you see the connectors right here. So your camera cable goes from this connector to that connector. And I haven't seen too much camera footage on this yet, so I can't really say much about that, but it adds a lot of latency. So the bando bashers, you don't want to use this because you will crash. No, it cannot be either HD or analog. This is an HD only, Scott. This is HD only. So is my ELRS a pre-build or did you build? I've got two. One is a pre-build. It's the Crux 35. It has the SPI ELRS SPI receiver in it. I love the quad, but I don't care for the flight controller in it. So if you want to, if you get it and you have to replace the flight controller for some reason, I wouldn't replace it with a factory one. I would just use a regular flight controller and add a receiver to it. And then I also have the Shocker 4, this little guy right here. And you can see the receiver, right? Double stick tape to the inside of the housing there. Has a little ceramic antenna on it. So I've got both. So why so much latency? The camera adds the latency into the system. And we're talking about, what they say, about 30 to 40 millisecond on top of the 30 or 40 millisecond you already have. So, yeah, those are T-mounted props. These are Toka 1505 motors with T-mounted props, 4-inch. This is a little screamer. This is actually built as a 6S rig, and it will fly with 6S batteries, and it gets with it. It's a lot of fun to fly that little thing. So anyhow, yeah, the run cam split HD. It's a step in the right direction. Don't get me wrong. But they need to work out. They need to have some firmware updates to reduce that latency some more. But I mean, for $99, I mean, you wouldn't be able to swap that back and forth on the quick like you do with a Peanut or the thumb camera or something. So basically, you'd be adding $100 to the to your bill. So you'll have to be the judge of that. So yeah, I don't like T-mounts. But I mean, T-mounts versus the 5mm shaft, either or. I mean, there's a lot of weight being introduced. But I guess FPV Cycle has found a way as going to a 3mm shaft on their motors, and they supply bushing to where you can still use 5mm shafted props. And there was another manufacturer that's starting with 2mm shafts. And for that, Gemfan created a new centerpiece. You know, Gemfan has to universal mount where you can use them either with a 5mm shaft or a T-mount. Well, that little adapter that they have for that, they make another one that's a black adapter that actually has a 2mm hole to fit for the 2mm shaft to fit through. But I have not fooled with any of that just yet, so I can't tell you if it's any better or any worse. For the time being, I've never had any issues with the T-mounts yet, knock on wood. But you have the same rig, so which one do you have? Do you have the Shocker 4 or the Shocker 5? I mean, I've got the Shocker 5, and it has shaft motors on it, but these are big 2203 motors. So I might have to order that Shocker 3.5 yet. I like the Shocker frame. It works pretty well. Well, I think I have a broken arm on this thing. I do. How about that? Well, maybe the old Flywheel Explorer just needs to retire. Anyway, I think I've been babbling on here for about an hour now, so I think I'm going to, let's see what else I have to talk about. We touched on the radios briefly. I have the Zora on order. Hopefully it'll come in sometime soon. There was something said about a shipping date of the 7th. I haven't got a shipping notification yet, but you know, we won't know. So I'm waiting to get a notification from Get FPV that my stuff's been shipped. And I ordered 2 sets of batteries with it, just to have a spare set. Yeah, those 18350 batteries don't really inspire a lot of confidence in me. But I've been flying the Free Sky, and it actually has 18,500 batteries in it. But there are 2,000, just over 2,000 milliamp hours in the battery on this one. So I think those are the 18,500 batteries. Yeah, they're 18,500. I think they're right at, yeah, they're 2,000 milliamp hours. So they're twice the capacity. But I can go for a couple hours with this one. The X-Lite Pro is what this thing is called. You know what's really fun with this thing? So this has a built-in gyro. And you can actually assign, and I've done it before in the simulator, where I assigned roll and pitch to the gyro. And then you can just fly it with one hand because you have throttle and yaw on one stick, and then just by tilting the radio back and forth or side to side, you get roll and pitch. And that really is a different experience. So we're going to, I might have to set this up for Sunrise Water Media sometime, really mess with them. Oh, shoot, he's here, isn't he? Well, anyhow, yeah, and as Lee is just reminding me, February 20th, 2 p.m., okay, sunrise, you hear that? PM. We're going to have our monthly meetup again out at Canyon Lake at the Hidden Valley Sports Park. So if you're in the San Antonio, Austin area and care to join us, February 20th is the next Central Texas Drone Meetup. So, and I don't care. I mean, even if you come to spectate, that's fine too. You know, if you have friends or family that just want to come out and check it out, everybody's welcome to come out. Wouldn't be the first time though. We had a couple people there was kids. The kids love watching us. So anyway, yeah, the more the merrier. Come join us. It's on the 20th. Again, at 2 p.m. That's a Sunday. So Sunday afternoon. We've been there 2 Sundays in the afternoon now and had free reign of the field. So yeah, they may or may not be crashes to spectate. If Sunrise is there, we will have plenty of crashes to spectate on. Or if Kelly's there. Kelly's pretty good at that too, as I can testify. Anyhow, I think that's all I've got for tonight. Again, anybody got any questions? Ask. I'll be other than that, yeah, I don't have much to say today. We all had I think that's it for today, guys. Yeah, Callie doesn't won't get a kitchen pass. Poor guy. Matter of fact, I just saw a text from him. I'm going to have to answer, see what he's up to. I think I'm just going to call him. Anyhow, that's it for tonight, guys. Appreciate y'all taking time to stop by and see what happens next. I'll be keeping an eye on that HR 6572. See what's going to happen with that, and hopefully they won't hit us too bad. But until then, thank you all for coming by. If you would hit the thumbs up button on the way out, please, I would appreciate it. And until next Tuesday, same time, same place, I will see you then, and y'all have a good one. Bye.